Drage dame, drage mame, z nami nikdar niste same in prav prisrčno pozdravljene in pozdravljeni v eni taki zelo zanimivi epizodi, ki pa verjamem, da bo zelo zanimala predvsem moške. Z mano je docent dr. Tomislav Pejičić, za katerega sem, ker smo digitalni, sestavila en tak poseben uvod. Včeraj sem namreč zaradi radovednosti in želje po novih spoznanjih na področju medicine obiskala tradicionalni zdravniški kongres Šrotovi dnevi v Cankarjevem domu. In med kopico zanimivih tematik me je najbolj pritegnila novost oziroma ugotovitve glede sodobnega razumevanja bolezni prostate. Ja, najbrž se sprašujete, zakaj prostata in kaj imamo mi dame opraviti s tem? Odgovor je v dejstvu, da se večina naših ljubljenih moškega spola v zrelih letih sreča s problemi in boleznimi prostate in to neposredno ali posredno vpliva tudi na nas. Nezadovoljna ženska lahko postaneš zaradi veliko razlogov. Eden in zelo pogost je tudi seksualna abstinenca. In zakaj ne bi govorili o tem? In boleznih prostate, s katero se lahko srečuje vaš partner. Je pogosta in kaj lahko naredimo? Kako lahko pomagamo? Ali lahko preprečimo? V čast mi je predstaviti današnjega gosta, doktorja urologije, docenta na medicinski fakulteti v Beogradu, gospoda Tomislava Pejičića, dolgoletnega raziskovalca in znanstvenega publicista, ki je s svojim predavanjem o sodobnem razumevanju bolezni prostate navdušil mene in verjamem, da tudi strokovno javnost v Cankarjevem domu vseh prisotnih zdravnikov. We choose to do this conversation in English. As I said, Mama Maria, this season goes international. And now finally, my first question. How come you visited Šrotovi dnevi here in Ljubljana and lectured about all those new studies?
Okay, first of all, thank you for your invitation for this interview. The group of authors from Belgrade and from Ljubljana published an issue in a very respectful journal called Antioxidants with the title The Role of Isoflavones in the Prevention of Breast Cancer and Prostate Cancer. So it was the reason I was invited to take participation in Šrotovi dnevi this year.
Okay, so isoflavones, this is the important word.
Yes.
Can you please explain to us, as we are ordinary people, not really common in all those medical studies and medical explanations?
Isoflavones are molecules very similar to estrogens. So they are called phytoestrogens, and they are abundant in soya, but also is in some other plants. If they are ingested, they produce so-called estrogenic effects. So their role is very, very important in the physiology and also pathophysiology, or the appearance of diseases of the breast and of the prostate as well.
Okay, so how did you come up with the idea to connect all those substances with prostate health?
I was always wondering why the incidence, which is the number of new discovered cases of prostate cancer per 100,000 inhabitants annually, so why the incidence of prostate cancer is so low in Asia, in China, in Korea, in Japan, where it is in a rural Chinese villages only 5 per 100,000 inhabitants. Why? While it is about 60 to 70 in Southern and Eastern and Central Europe, above 80 to 100 in Northern Europe, and over 200 in USA, but in African Americans.
That is very interesting, and
Yes.
that is a lot of diversion, right?
Yes,
So it
yes.
gets quite scary researching all these
Yes,
things,
yes.
but there is a highlight and a positive shot in the Middle East. So
Yes, there are certainly differences in race and genetic and so on. But maybe the most important factor is the diet. While the diet in Middle East and Far East is based on plants, especially on soy products rich in isoflavones, then in catechins from green tea, average Chinese or Japanese drinks 4 to 7 cups of green tea every day.
As we
Every
mostly
day.
drink, that is nice,
Yes.
as it has many isoflavones,
Yes.
I suppose.
Yes.
But we mostly drink coffee, not so much of the
Yes.
green tea drinkers, are
Yes.
we? Right? Especially in Europe.
The average consumption of isoflavones in Asia for both men and women is 40 to 50 milligrams daily.
Okay. And what
And
is it in our?
In Europe and USA, 1 milligram.
Ooh.
One.
Okay.
Also, the average consumption of catechins from green tea is about 250 milligrams daily. But in Europe, USA, Africa, there are just few percents of population that drinks green tea every day. At last, there is influence of vitamin D on prostate health, which is very important. Vitamin D resembles and is very like to steroid hormones, and its action is the same like the action of testosterone. Vitamin D also has its own receptor called vitamin D receptor, and it is proved in experiments in vitro that the stimulation of vitamin D receptor lowers the risk for malignant transformation in the case of prostate cancer.
Thank you for all those studies, and that is absolutely good news.
Yeah.
So I believe that is the newest understanding of studies in
Yes.
prostate health. Okay, but now we have a special kind of thing, which is the rubric Mama pomagaj. Mama pomagaj, rubrika, kjer odgovorimo direktno na vaše vprašanja. So the question of our viewer would be, my husband is really avoiding his doctor's appointment, but I know he has some problems. What is he afraid of? Is it urgent? When can the condition be fatal? So what is your doctorish resemblance? What would be your
Yeah.
advice?
Unfortunately, benign diseases like benign prostatic hyperplasia or BPH or prostatic infections called prostatitis produce symptoms, and the patient which have difficulties in urination as a consequence of BPH will visit his urologist. Why did I say unfortunately? Because there is a much more dangerous disease called prostate cancer, which arises silently, without symptoms.
Because that was my next question. How
Yes.
can we see the symptoms? What is the first sign that we should visit the doctor?
Yes. The general recommendation for male population is to start surveillance of prostate cancer and prostate diseases after 55 years. At that age, every man should make a prostate-specific antigen test or PSA test from blood, and to visit his urologist, which would perform digital rectal examination, ultrasound, transrectal ultrasound, or more specific imaging methods like MRI if it is necessary. However, if a patient had father or brother with prostate cancer, they are in so-called group with higher risk, and the surveillance and first urological exam should be made even at 45 years.
Okay. Well, prevention is better than treatment, I suppose.
Of course.
And as you mentioned, those isoflavones, concrete, where can we find them?
Isoflavones could be found in various plants, but soy and soy products are abundant in isoflavones, and what is more interesting, the way of preparing soy products in Asia is made upon fermentation. So fermentation is the main way of preparing these products. The same process is taking place in our intestines, where specific bacteria are remodeling those molecules, isoflavones, genistein, diazine, glycine, and so on. And they are making more active compounds of them in our intestines.
Okay, and what else would be the thing we choose when we visit the market? So what kind of food should we buy and eat, and in how many amounts?
Green tea,
okay.
Green tea, and the vitamin D. It is, we urologists know the importance of vitamin D in urology, in prostate cancer. And epidemiological studies show that people with vitamin D deficiency have a higher risk for developing prostate cancer. If we see Northern Europeans, they have majority of men have deficiency of vitamin D, and especially African Americans, because the melanin in their skin prevents the proper action of ultraviolet radiation, ultraviolet light, which is producing vitamin D3 active components in our skin.
Yes, they used to call it, we still call it the sun vitamin, the vitamin of the sun. So we find it basically in fish?
Basically in fish. And do you know what is the source of vitamin D in fish?
What?
Algae. Algae, yes.
Oh, so it's plant-based all over.
Yes.
Wow,
yes.
That is very, very interesting.
Yes.
I also remember from your lecture from the chimpanzees how they had years and years and years of strictly herbivore eating.
Not just chimpanzees, but
primates.
all the ancestors of Homo sapiens.
Exactly. Well, me being a very modest Homo sapiens, I know, and I made my studies as well, that you discovered you were the inventor of PROSTO For Men, which is herbal extracts, which is actually ampules, pills, which contain all the amounts of isoflavones we should take to make a great impact on prostate cancer prevention. Is that right? Okay, so how did you come up with this invention?
I was searching for a supplement with, let's say, strong molecular proofs, strong molecular basis. And actually, I was searching the internet.
Okay.
Our medical sources like PubMed and so on. And the largest number of references was in subject in term isoflavones, catechins, and vitamin D. So I was very pleasantly surprised when I saw that these are the basic recommendations of Japan Ministry of Health.
Wow.
How to prevent prostate cancer. Reduce alcohol intake, quit smoking, ingest large amounts of isoflavones, catechins, and vitamin D. The new recommendations of famous Johns Hopkins Institute from Baltimore has the same recommendation.
Great! I would say it's a coincidence, but as science lies between us, this is the best news ever, right? So we can really make an impact on prostate health prevention with PROSTO For Men.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For your professionalism and for your really good try to explain for ordinary people. So it was a pleasure hosting you, and all the best on your professional and personal path.
Thank you very much.
And same to you. We use the hormones and we use science and we use ordinary life to make it better. In če zaključim v slovenščini, vas še vedno rada imam, čeprav vseh ne poznam. Do naslednjič. Ciao.